So. Das da? Oh, guck mal, was passiert, wenn ich meine Arme... Oh Gott, das darf ich machen. Warte mal. Ich glaube, der Greenscreen ist einfach... Warte. Ich habe gesagt, heute ist windig, ne? War windig. Mein Hund ist durchgedreht. Nee, ich bin auch abgehoben. Ich bin mit meinem Stuhl abgehoben. Der Stuhl hebt mich mit in andere Hemisphären. Mein Stuhl ist teilweise durchsichtig, ja, das ist aber okay. Das war am Montag schon so, das war am Dienstag schon so. Und ich finde es eigentlich ganz gut, wenn der durchsichtig ist, weil, also wer will den Stuhl schon unbedingt komplett sehen? Also, ich finde es gut so. Also, ich habe gesagt, wir machen Nicholas Death, damit wir das ganz schnell, das klingt wie ein Name, Nicholas Death. Der Hund ist genauso verrückt. Nein! Ich habe keine Angst vor Wind. Oh, Toffi, das lese ich jetzt. Oh, danke schön. Das freut mich, dass du es hier schön findest. Ich weiß, den Chat muss man halt einfach ausblenden, nicht wahr? Der Chat ist halt, also, naja, der Chat halt, ne? Den muss man halt irgendwie mögen. Ja? Spiel? Ah. Ich muss, glaube ich, wieder lauter machen. Ja, schlimm, echt. Also, die mit den Schwertern sind echt die schlimmsten. Der Chat ist ja wohl das Beste. Hallo, Dex. Okay. Spielt alleine. Zeigt, wie gut ihr das alleine könnt. Hier. Hier. Hier, nehmt den Controller. Nehmt den. Hier. Nehmt ihn. Wie ist er nochmal gestorben? Er wurde sanktioniert. Nein, das Blut wurde ihm rausgedingst. I knew that Nicholas chose to die, but I was still pretty shaken. I had promised Beatrix that I'd protect her little brother, yet I was still here and he wasn't. I was the leader. I should have kept my team members alive. I rolled over and silently cried into my pillow. Nicholas' blood was on my hands. Haha, weil er, wisst ihr, sein Blatt ist an ihren Händen, weil dem wurde das Blut ja abgezogen. And I felt 100% responsible. Er war nicht so spannend, er wurde halt einfach blass. I was losing the motivation to continue living, let alone get out of bed. We're all going to die anyway, so why bother?
Right? It would be so much easier if we were all dead too.
What the hell? Yoshiki? I sat up in my bed and squinted into the dimly lit room. I couldn't see Yoshiki or even a faint outline of him. Where could his voice have come from?
Hey, bestie. Down here.
Was? Ist er unter meinem Bett? I craned my head over the side of the bed and saw him lying on the floor next to my bed, complete with his... Was? Old pillow and blanket? Warum schläft er neben mir? Yoshiki, what are you doing down there?
I didn't want to sleep alone last night. So, after everyone went to bed, I snuck in.
How did you sneak in? My door locks behind me.
Oh, that. I pulled in a favor. Bingo!
Ha, from the captain. Wusste ich doch. Hey, meine Haare machen schon wieder Dinge. Oh, wartet. Also, bei dem Licht schon, das finde ich nicht gut. Das ist es nicht. Das ist es ein bisschen. Oh, das ist auch mein Stuhl. Warum ist das auch mein Stuhl? Hä, guck mal, jetzt hat der Punkt. Jetzt ist besser, aber hier noch, ne? Was ist noch? Was ist denn das? Das ist es. Aber das ist blöd. Warum macht es das? Oh, das ist nicht gut. Ist jetzt besser? Ist jetzt besser? Ja, oder? Das passt schon so. Selbst, also, ist das jetzt grün? Ja, das ist grün, ne? Es ist egal, das passt schon. Sieht gut aus. Ja, hab ich's auch, Tobi. Hab ich's auch. Das Problem ist, meine Deckenlampe, die ist direkt da oben und die ist echt nicht gut. Hallo, Lurker. Also, die macht echt nicht viel Licht. Und dadurch, dass hier alles so so dachschräg und eckig ist, so verwinkelt, ist es schwierig. Und, dadurch, dass ich die Softbox nicht anmachen will, weil die halt so warm macht, kann ich einfach mich ein bisschen... Oder alt war es, ne? Ich mich einfach so ein bisschen... Dann fällt es gar nicht so auf. Ich bräuchte eigentlich noch so rechts und links 2 Lampen, die nach oben leuchten, aber... Ist das grün? Ja, das ist grün. Oh, hä? Hä? Ah, jetzt. Aber das ist echt, also... Schwierig. Ich hätte gern Keylights. Aber das geht nicht, weil hier ist ein Schrank am Schreibtisch. Da kann das Keylight schon nicht drüber leuchten. Und die Keylights leuchten so krass. Also die kannst du natürlich auch heller, dunkler einstellen, aber trotzdem, naja. Wenn ich umgezogen bin, wird es einfacher. Disrespect for my privacy and from her of all people. Ja, ja.
Oh, don't be angry, bestie. We're best friends, so there's no need for you to hide anything from me.
Normally I would roll my eyes at such a comment, but I could see that Yoshiki legitimately felt close enough to me that there was no need for privacy between us anymore. It was cute in a childish kind of way. So why did you sneak into my room? Why not someone else's? I could see Yoshiki welling up, his face flushing a light pink and his eyes shimmering like a sad puppy's.
Would you have rather I ended up in someone else's room?
Ich bin nicht bereit für eine wannabe-romantische Beziehung mit ihm. Ich bin dafür nicht bereit. In a word, yes. Ich bin nur neugierig. Yoshiki seemed satisfied with my answer, but his bottom lip was still sticking out a little. Okay, nein, wir sind beste Freunde. Yoshiki's face lit up like a child being told that Christmas was coming early.
I knew it! Best friends!
Aber er macht Partyhüte. Okay. Yep, I'm your go-to girl.
I don't even know how I survived before you arrived here, bestie.
Oh, Dominik, nein. Why don't you get off the floor and join me up here? Was? I patted the spot on bed next to me. Yoshiki must have been truly desperate to have slept on that rock-hard floor. Yoshiki leaped to his feet, pillow and blanket in hand.
Are you sure, bestie?
Hände bleiben bei dir, ja? 100%.
This day is just getting better and better.
Warum nehme ich den mit in mein Bett? Ist der ein Hund? Yoshiki bounced over me and immediately made himself a little nest in my sheets. He rolled himself up inside his blanket, peering out at me from within.
Look, look! I'm a burrito!
Warum haben wir den noch gleich in unser Bett gelassen? Hahaha, the best tasting burrito ever. Ich hab den Das ist so falsch. Hallo, Missy. Einen guten Abend wünsche ich dir.
Beef and cheese?
Warum sabbert er? Warum sabbert er? Haha, definitely not. Yoshiki grinned uncontrollably as he closed his eyes.
Good night, bestie.
Good night. My lingering feeling of hopelessness melted as I gazed up on Yoshiki's naive and innocent face. I knew that I still had reason to live, to get up in the morning. I felt myself smiling just as broadly as sleep took me.
Oh, what do we have here?
I opened my eyes to find Dai standing next to the bed, smiling mischievously. I tried to sit up, but I realized that Yoshiki's arm was wrapped tightly around me. I promised this isn't what it looks like.
What? Huh?
Ich hab gesagt, Hände bei dir. Yoshiki stood next to me, drawing me in closer as he did.
Girl, please. We all have needs to be fulfilled.
Die?
Good morning, Yoshiki. You fox, you.
Fox? I'm not a fox.
Aber es klingt wie was anderes.
Aren't you?
I winked playfully at Yoshiki. Yoshiki let go of me and sat up.
If I could choose anything, I would be a capybara.
Was denn ein Capybara? Capybara. Capybara. Ernsthaft? Ein Wasserschwein? Oh, den kann ich auch, Dominik. Wasserschwein. A what?
It's like a guinea pig the size of a dog.
What's so special about a capybara?
Capybaras are friends with everyone. I want to be friends with everyone.
Even me?
Of course.
Aww. It seriously bums me out when I think about killing you.
Bums.
Well, you could just not kill me.
That isn't really fair to the others, though, is it?
Yoshiki was lost in deep thought for a moment.
You're right. It wouldn't be fair.
I'm glad you agree. And with that, I need you two lovebirds to get yourselves to the dining hall for the new game explanation.
I told you, I'm not a lovebird. I'm a capybara.
Ist er asexuell? Ist er asexuell? Wie kann er so uninteressiert an Menschen sein?
Okay. You rats get to the dining hall before I murder you both.
Das machen die Klamottendecks. Weil das halt so diese... Also das ist so richtig Klischee-Klamotten von früher, wenn du in so eine Schwulenbar gegangen bist.
Yay! Coming!
Ich glaube, der steht einfach auf gar nichts. Ich glaube, der ist einfach wirklich nur der kleine Welpe. Sometimes I wonder what went on inside of Yoshiki's head. It seemed like a magical place. Dai vanished after which we threw off the blankets and made our way to the dining hall. Outside of my quarters, we bumped into a distressed-looking Katashi. Warum hat Nikolas eigentlich nie in meinem Bett geschlafen? Ich frag nur.
Good morning.
Just another day in paradise, eh?
This is the Everett, silly.
Laut? Katashi said, I saw that he was in no mood for Yoshiki's antics right now.
Let's get this over with.
We arrived to find that we were the last ones here. Ja, aber das hat ja nichts zu bedeuten,
I'm
Dex.
impressed.
Weil, ganz ehrlich, ich bin auch teilweise wie irgendwelche Männer. Hä? Dai made eyes towards Katashi and made a highly suggestive face. It's not what you think.
Shh. All power to your sister.
Warum ist Dai immer so leise? I rolled my eyes. Dai was clearly not interested in the truth. Warum denn jetzt Katashi? Den habe ich auf dem Flur getroffen.
Dai? What is the meaning of this?
Well, I was on my merry way to fetch...
It's nothing, Captain. She's just making up gossip.
I do not have time for gossip.
But... it's juicy.
Juicy!
Is it true?
Well, it's still an active investigation, but I do have grounds to make some scandalous accusations.
Get back to me once you have undeniable proof.
Challenge accepted.
Dai seemed delighted by her new goal. I groaned, knowing that this was going to cause me problems in the future. Dai's gaze darted around the room in excitement, but nobody was talking.
Come on, I don't have all day. Let's get this out of the way. I've got bigger fish to fry now.
Du hast doch das angefangen, Mann! Dai stared at me intensely, as if daring me to challenge her.
Dai, you are the one who gathered us here to tell us about the new game. You are the only one currently holding yourself up.
Danke.
Ah, yes. I almost forgot. Ahem. May I introduce the new game? Vampire one. No one. However, if now, but the I any. Excellent.
Was?
If you're the vampire, who will be your sweet Bonnie? Yoshiki or Kadashi?
Ich mag den Strang auch, wenn Nikolas tot ist. Also ich find's cool, dass ich so eine Bitch geworden bin. Ja, Vampire Children. Also, Vampire Children habe ich noch nie gehört. Was ist das? Worum geht's da? Seriously?
I would put my money on Yoshiki. No, wait, Katashi.
Dai, I am still waiting on that evidence.
Ja, das ist ja auch klar, Dex. Also, Katashi war meine erste Wahl. Gott sei Dank hat es im Strang ja auch, also den Katashi-Weg gegeben. Einfach, Katashi hat diese Stimme. Die smiling menacingly at the captain. Die suddenly stepped out of the room and broadcast opened overheard, where we could all hear Dai using her best customer service voice.
We understand that you have a
Achso,
choice
jetzt
in
können wir
deletion
aufhören.
game care.
Die ist immer ein Plus, das stimmt. Nikolas nehme ich auch wenn er nicht kochen kann. Okay, dann koche ich halt. Dafür kann er mir Drogen beschaffen. Okay, ich will keine Drogen. Aber ich muss nicht mehr zum Arzt gehen, wenn ich Probleme habe, sondern kann einfach sagen, hey Nikolas, mir geht's nicht so gut. Kannst du mich mal untersuchen und ein bisschen Doktorspielchen mit mir? Aber okay. Entschuldigung. I couldn't sleep. I rolled over and stared at the empty space that just last night had a warm burrito in it. Maybe, just maybe I should go sneak into his bed this time. His presence had helped me sleep last night after... Nein! I grabbed my blanket and pillow and rolled my way down the hallway towards Yoshiki's room. Genau, Tobi, genau. Luna! I turned to see the captain looking the same as she always does. Does she ever sleep? Captain, how are you?
I was actually just about to rouse you to ask you for your counsel.
Tja, Dex. Her eyebrows suddenly raised as if she had just noticed something.
What are you doing?
I was going to go and get into bed with Yoshiki. Wow. Surprisingly enough, the captain didn't seem at all fazed by this.
Very well. Could I have a moment of your time beforehand?
Ach so, ja, ist normal. Yeah, of course. Ach so, ja, jetzt kommt wieder, okay. Okay, jetzt ist wieder, ja, das schwarze Loch, auf das wir uns zubewegen und wir müssen sie davon überzeugen, sie schafft das schon. Genau, perfekt. Oh,
You mean
you're most welcome. I should return to my bed.
Yoshiki's bed?
Oh, right, yeah. I turned a deep scarlet as the captain smiled playfully before becoming immediately more stern.
What are your intentions with Yoshiki exactly?
Gar nix! Having him there helps me sleep. Oh, ich muss. Wir brauchen alles, okay? Wir bumsen alles. Ist mir egal, ich muss. Also, meine Vorlieben und mein Geschmack zählen da nicht.
Are you sure of that?
Was? Nö. Is that a problem?
Of course not. However, I suggest that you explore those feelings carefully.
Hallo, böse Pandas. What exactly do you mean? Oh Gott, Missy, nein. The captain didn't respond for a few seconds.
Everyone is under a lot of stress. Just be careful.
I wasn't entirely sure what she might be hinting at, but I left it at that. Could you do me a favor, Captain?
What is it?
Are you able to let me into Yoshiki's quarters so I don't wake him going in?
Of course. I
materialize in front of us.
Yes, Captain?
Please unlock Yoshiki's door and allow access to...
Yes, Captain.
Wow, böse Pandas. I inclined my head to the captain as a show of thanks and headed towards Yoshiki's quarters. I tiptoed across the floor, carefully rolling myself in my blanket and sliding myself into the gap next to him.
Burrito!
Das mein Raid Alert. Eisi wahrscheinlich wieder, richtig? Danke für den Raid auf jeden Fall. Wie war der Stream? Was habt ihr Schönes gemacht? Vielen, vielen Dank. Dankeschön. Und hallo. Hallihallo. Raidors. Hallihallo. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet einen wunderschönen Stream. Ja, würde gern, aber passiert nicht, böse Pandas leider. Ha! Danke dir, Eisi. Vielen, vielen Dank. Ist lustig. 2 von den 3 umarmenden Herz-Emotes habe ich gemacht. Ich bin stolz auf mich. Bei mir ging das immer noch. Also bei mir ging das, glaube ich, noch nie. Hä? 3 Herz-Challenge in Ocarina of Time weitergemacht. Und wie lief's? Yoshiki wrapped his arms around me in a tight bear hug, rocking back and forth with glee. Good morning to you too.
Good morning, my favorite burrito.
Beef and cheese?
Nope. You, my favorite.
Der Strang ist irgendwann auch zu Ende. Yoshiki squeezed me so tight that I struggled to get my words out between gasps. Also bei manchen Leuten geht's, aber bei vielen geht's nicht. Your burrito is going to spill everywhere if you keep squeezing so hard.
Ah, sorry. I got too excited.
What time is it anyway?
It is a little after 10 a.m.
What? It's so late already?
Are you late for something?
Nothing in particular. I've just wasted my morning.
Well, you still have the rest of the day.
Das klingt nach mir. 10 Uhr morgens? So spät? You're right. Best get to it. Catapulted, keine Ahnung, wie man es ausspricht, out of Yoshiki's bed and into a bath before heading to the lab. Naja, May, das, was halt alle in Twitch sehen, weißt du, da denken noch alle, dass irgendwie so ein bisschen so und so ist. I took my parents' research out, laying it across multiple tables. I knew I can do this. Okay, ja, wir untersuchen die Uhr. Oh.
How's it going, bestie?
Wir schaffen es nicht und dann will ein Date. Hä? I looked up and saw Yoshiki standing in the doorway, grinning ear to ear like a clown. Oh, Yoshiki, hello there.
What you doing?
I was looking through my parents' research notes. I had a feeling that I was on the brink of a discovery. Apparently, I was wrong.
I know you are. Maybe you need a break.
I think you're getting breakthrough confused with break.
Well, you can't spell breakthrough without break.
Guter Punkt. I giggled at his childish logic.
Seriously, though, taking breaks is really important for progress. You've already been in here for almost 10 hours.
Hallo, Beauty Moon Unicorn. Simpometer steht auf. Ich bin alles. Ins Leben länger. Das stimmt. Nachtschicht, oh Gott. Ja, dann viel Erfolg bei der Nachtschicht. Lass dich nicht ärgern und schlaf ganz schnell ein und schlaf gut. Erhol dich gut. Und nochmal vielen Dank für den Raid. Der Stuhl flackert jetzt. Ja, lass ihn flackern. Das sind Special Effects. Das ist RGB ist das. Jetzt hört auf, dann setz mich halt so hin. Wait, what? I glanced at my tablet. It was indeed 8:34 p.m. I guess time flies when you're having fun.
You were having fun?
Ja, das ist mir egal. Jetzt lass den Stuhl flackern. Not really, but imagine what time it would be now if I were. Ihr flackert gleich alle. Ich beschmeiß euch einfach mit grüner Farbe. Jeder kriegt ein paar Punkte an. Und dann kiech's raus. Dann flackert ihr auch. Yoshiki gasped.
It wouldn't even be today anymore.
Jetzt flackern die... Ernsthaft? Ernsthaft? Will das mich verarschen? Kann man keine Crispiness von Luna nicht ertragen. Richtig so, richtig so. So. Ist besser, oder? Hey, es sind immer nur noch so ganz kleine Stücke. Es ist besser, ja? So. Haha, probably not.
So...
Yoshiki was clearly fishing to see if I would take a break and spend some time with him. I really shouldn't. Was passiert, wenn ich das mache?
But...
Nee, ich mache jetzt keine Pause. Fit to burst with held back tears. I hurriedly attempted to excuse myself. Ach nee, dann zwingt er uns, ne? Oder nee, dann zwingt... Warte.
Okay, I understand.
Oh, wir bleiben doch. What was with the sudden change? This was very uncharacteristic of Yoshiki. Student took a seat next to me. What are you doing?
Solving your problem.
What problem?
You want to work on your research and spend time with me. So I will stay here and you can do both.
Oh, Yoshiki. Yoshiki smiled triumphantly at me.
Please continue, bestie. I'll be your full-time cheering squad.
This is going to be incredibly boring for you. Are you sure you can handle it?
There is no one else I would rather be bored with.
Oh, das war süß. Das ist, der Satz ist süß. Hallo Matteo. Der Satz ist wirklich süß. I chuckled, turning back to my research. 10 minutes later, Yoshiki was asleep, head trailed by a nest of papers filling the room with his gentle snores. Hours passed and even Yoshiki's comforting presence still wasn't helping me make any progress. Okay, es ändert nichts. Ich dachte, vielleicht kommen wir da storytechnisch weiter.
Oh.
Aber dann natürlich, also als ob wir arbeiten. Hier, sounds like a great idea. Lead the way, Yoshiki, master procrastinator. Yoshiki's face lit up like he just won the lottery.
You won't regret it. I've already got a great activity planned.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's a secret, silly. Come on, let's go.
Ja, mach das, Missy. Hallo, gute Nacht, Bloss Silent natürlich. Wie geht's dir? Ja, dachte ich auch, Dex. Ich hatte kurz Hoffnung. Weil, also, ich habe noch nie, wenn ich die Chance hatte, Yoshiki nach seiner Meinung gefragt, wenn es um die Uhr ging. Und ich dachte halt, vielleicht kann der da einem helfen, aber... Bro, I'm stuck. Okay, give me a second so I can pack up here. Ja, hab aufgepasst.
Alright, let's go!
Zum 500. Mal habe ich die Sachen halt zusammengepackt und gehe auf ein Date mit irgendwem. Yoshiki seemed even more excited than usual. I wonder what on earth we had planned. Und Überstunden, oh Gott, übertreib's aber nicht, ne? Ja, mir geht's auch gut, nur müde, super müde. Hallo, Dementros. Das ist ein... Wie beschreibt man dieses Spiel? Dominik Dex, wie beschreibt man dieses Spiel? Ich meine, es ist irgendwo Visual Novel, aber Visual Novel tut ihm nicht Genüge. Also, ist so wie Zero Escape. Wow. Ist halt so ein Text-Adventure mit verschiedenen parallelen Dimensionen. Und es gibt halt so Beziehungsmöglichkeiten. Und wir haben ein Spiel, das immer einen auf dem Schiff tötet. Nein, bloß halt das definitiv nicht. Also wir sind auf einem Spaceship und unsere Ressourcen sind knapp. Deswegen ist unsere AI, die das Schiff betreibt, hat eine böse Split Personality bekommen, die uns ein nach dem anderen mit sogenannten Deletion Games töten möchte, damit wir Ressourcen sparen. Und um das zu verhindern und uns alle zu retten, müssen wir mit einer komischen Zeituhr zwischen verschiedenen Dimensionen hin und her springen. Und dabei versuchen wir alles in die Kiste zu bekommen, was nicht bei 3 auf dem Baum ist. Habe ich gut erklärt, oder? Weiß ich nicht, Beauty Moon Unicorn. Also, die unterhalten sich gerade, da werde ich nicht reinfunken. Das Spiel sieht so lieb aus. Ja, das liegt an dem Typen, aber die anderen sind nicht so lieb. I followed the bouncing Yoshiki down the hallway, heading towards what I surmised was the Echo Lounge. As we neared the Echo Lounge entrance, Yoshiki suddenly yanked me close to him and whispered in my ear.
Bestie, let's steal some food.
Und er sabbert schon wieder. What? Why? Plus, why are you whispering? There's no one around.
We might die tomorrow, so let's eat something delicious.
And the whispering?
If I knew that we were stealing things, she would dob us in.
Really? And here was me thinking she might be relatively okay with crime.
I thought so too. The first time.
What happened?
I asked her to keep watch for Katashi, knowing that she tracked everyone on the ship.
Okay.
And she told me that he wasn't nearby.
Uh-huh.
Little did I know that she had already notified him and was keeping watch over me while he made his way to the farm, where he caught me red-handed stealing apples.
Wow, what a narc.
Yep, so...
Oh, da sind die Mähs wieder. I followed him sneakily to the farm, looking over my shoulder a lot more than before. I think we're in the clear. Yoshiki smiled mischievously as he tiptoed towards the mandarin tree.
Do you like mandarins?
I don't think I have ever had one.
Well, I guess we're about to find out.
Yoshiki plucked a mandarin from the tree and tossed it playfully to me. I snatched it out of the air and put the mandarin straight into my mouth. It was very chewy. Warum haben wir so ein Wort wie chewy eigentlich nicht? Es gibt kein Wort, das perfekt chewy übersetzt, okay? Gibt es nicht. Hm?
You have to peel mandarins.
Oops. I spat the mandarin out of my mouth. Why did you warn me?
I just assumed you would peel it. It's basically a baby orange after all.
Well, you assumed wrong. I glared at him as I peeled the mangled mandarin as best as I could. I could see Yoshiki in silent tears out of the corner of my eye.
Would you have preferred me to start you on a more simple fruit?
Ja, chewy heißt sowas wie zäh, aber chewy heißt eigentlich nur, dass es kaubar ist. Also chewy ist eigentlich nicht unbedingt negativ und zäh ist aber negativ. Nee, eben nicht weich, sondern du hast Spaß am Kauen. Bissfest passt auch nicht. Nee, wir haben echt kein Wort. Wir haben kein Wort, das chewy wirklich perfekt übersetzt. Haben wir nicht. Ja, Spaß am Kauen. I blew him a huge raspberry in response.
Aw, come on. Even you have to admit it was hilarious.
I decided it was time for a change of subject. You only steal fruit? What's your favorite fruit? What happened? Okay, was ist deine Lieblingsfrucht? Wir sind jetzt bei Dating-Fragen gelandet.
Favorite fruit? Let me think.
Es ist ein Semi-Dating-Game. Das Problem ist nur, das Dating läuft irgendwie nicht so gut, weil uns die Leute immer wegsterben. Wir hatten bisher eine. Also, ich kann dir das mal zeigen. Hier, guck mal. Hier ist... Also, wir können Mädchen und Junge sein und müssen auch beides spielen. Das ist so ein Strang. Wir sind jetzt hier. Ja, wir sind jetzt hier. Und du siehst ja, wir sterben, andere sterben. Und das... Und das haben wir schon alles gespielt und wir haben nur eine wirklich, also, naja. I started eating my now peeled mandarin as he gave it thought. It was pretty damn good.
Carrots!
Das ist kein Obst! Carrots are a vegetable, not a fruit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. Pears.
Ew! Ich hasse Birnen. Why? Yoshiki seemed confused by my question.
Because they taste good?
Du meinst, glaube ich dir, dass es Spaß ist. Hoffe ich. Birnen schmecken nicht. That's a good... was ist denn heute? That's as good a reason as any, I guess. Ha ha ha. Yoshiki and I spent the rest of the evening gorging aus? Naja, ourselves on fruit and vegetables before sneaking back to my room for the evening. Schläft er schon wieder bei mir? Yoshiki prepared his usual burrito on the left side of the bed and, also in his usual style, was asleep in mere moments. I changed into my bedclothes and joined sweet Yoshiki in blissful unconsciousness. Oh Gott, ich hab so Angst, dass er uns im Schlaf irgendwie, keine Ahnung, absticht oder so. I felt a sudden sharp jab before my head hit the floor with a thump. Dazed and confused, I whipped my head around the room to see what was attacking me. Ow! What the... I looked up from my new view on the floor and saw that Yoshiki had performed a violent takeover of the bed in his sleep and bulldozed me off in the process. I picked myself up and brushed myself off. I went to push Yoshiki back onto his side when I noticed eerie green light that illuminated the room. Das Ende nicht gut, glaube ich auch nicht. Weird. My eyes traced the light back to its source. It was the pocket watch. The watch! The watch!
Huh? What?
The pocket watch. The lights are all green. I think it's on. I mean, at least it's doing something. Mit dem lieber nicht. Da gibt's andere, die mir lieber wären. Yoshiki rolled back over to avoid the bright light and returned to sleep. Trembling, I picked up the watch and held it reverently in my hands. I felt tears of joy streaming down my face. Auf jeden Fall pressen wir den Button. Davor speichern wir natürlich. Ah, hier, siehst du was, ne? Also so ein paar schöne Momente gibt's auch. Ja, also, aber das wird jetzt kein schöner Moment. I didn't hesitate, I pressed the buttons with a hope-filled heart. Ich warne vor, es könnte abstrus werden. I woke with a swimming head for the second time in as many minutes and found myself lying face down in a puddle of cold drool on the floor. Der hat mich einfach umgedingst. Ick. Gross. I rolled over onto my back and stared at the ceiling until the nausea passed. My room still looked the same, although strangely absent of any real feeling of warmth. I slowly got to my feet and tried to collect my thoughts. I noticed that I no longer had the pocket watch. I began to panic and started tearing open drawers, but quickly discovered it in the box along with my parents' research. That's weird. I don't remember putting it back there. I shook my head and sighed. Nothing significant had changed, so it must have been yet another failure. What a disappointment. I couldn't shake the last traces of nausea, so I decided to check myself into the medical bay and take something to settle my stomach. The last thing I needed was to head into the next round of the deletion game, feeling ill. Okay, das muss richtig abstrus jetzt werden, oder? I arrived at the medical bay and, not expecting anyone at this hour, started rummaging through the medicine cabinets. Oh, wartet mal. Wir hatten doch in dem Strang für den Strang was freigeschaltet beim Boy. Heißt es, wir haben jetzt einen Oh. Wir sind glücklich in dem Strang. Das ist ein guter Strang. Das ist ein guter Strang. Oh Gott. Story. Der Baum spoilert. Der hat mich nur angelächelt. Der war glücklich. Vielleicht ist er jetzt glücklich und danach macht er... Excuse me, can I help you? Molten Cherry? Molten Cherry? What? Alarmed, I peered around the cabinet door. I hadn't expected an interruption. After all, Nicholas and Beatrix were both dead. Wer ist sie? Können wir die bumsen? Who are you? Warum redet sie nicht? Wir machen... Wartet.
Interestingly enough... Und das klingt ja scheiße, warte. Ich muss das... Genau. Interestingly enough, that's exactly what I was going to ask you, but decided on, can I help you instead? It's just more polite, you see.
Okay, can I help you then?
Ha 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 ha, I don't know, can you?
Die Stimme klingt creepy, aber ist egal. Who was this woman speaking in riddles? Where did she come from? She didn't seem at all concerned to find a stranger ransacking the medicine cabinet. She was disturbingly calm.
What are you looking for?
I'm feeling quite nauseated.
Ah, that's an easy fix. Take a seat on the bed and I will get you some good old-fashioned Bismuth. Subsalicylate. Gesundheit.
What on earth is that?
It's the active ingredient used in antacid medication for upset tummies.
I sat down like I was told while she whipped around the medical bay like a ruthlessly efficient tornado.
Mind if I give you a once-over while you're here?
A once-over?
Just checking your vitals, you know, making sure you're healthy. Oh Gott,
Warum beißt sie sich so auf die Lippe? Die will mich nackt sehen. Auf jeden Fall.
That's the spirit.
She moved towards me and shone a blinding light directly in my eyes. If she had a reaction to what she saw, it would be a few seconds before I could see again to check.
There's a good girl. Now open wide and say, ah.
I did so, and she had a look around in my mouth while checking my pulse at the same time.
Want the good news?
Sure.
You appear to be human.
I already knew that.
Well, I didn't, so good news for me, I guess.
I tried really hard to comprehend what had just happened. What was going on here? Hä? Was ist das? Der Text ändert sich nicht, aber ihr Blick. Was ist das? Wir haben Animationen. Es gibt doch Animationen. Es gibt Animationen.
Would you still like that medicine for your nausea?
Please.
Great, all yours.
The woman handed me a cup of water and 2 tablets. I materialized into the room. At least I thought it was I. Was she a he?
Does the young lady here have a personal chip?
She does. This woman's identity is unknown to me. However, she undeniably has a chip that uses the Everett's unique encryption stamp.
Hallo, heilige Birma-Katze. Guten Abend. Ha, cool.
The woman seemed more amused than surprised by the news.
Researcher aboard the Everett, born to Deborah and Patrick.
Do you know my parents?
I knew them, but I'm sorry, they died years ago. Childless.
I wasn't born?
Apparently not in this reality.
The truth hit me hard just then. The pocket watch had actually worked.
It's nice to meet you, Luna. My name is MC. MC, Hammer! Hammer time! Okay, Entschuldigung.
I changed realities. This is a different dimension. Die Ei sieht doch ganz nett aus. Ah, die sieht so, bei uns sieht sie besser aus. Something else struck me about what MC had just said. Wait, you knew that I'm from a different dimension?
Of course. How else would someone magically appear on the Everett, a ship floating through space light years away from any living soul?
Why didn't you tell me?
Discoveries are much more fun when realized by oneself.
MC smiled at me warmly before turning to I.
Please inform the captain that we have a new crew member.
Wait, have you solved the die crisis?
I'm not sure I know what that is.
No die. I felt an immense wave of relief that, here at least, I no longer had to deal with her.
Alright, you look pretty good to me. Let's head over to the dining hall and you can meet the rest of the crew.
Are Beatrix and Nicholas here? Yoshiki, Katashi, Shizuka, Kimiko?
Whoa, slow down here. No to all of those, but the last one.
Kimiko is still the captain.
We have the pleasure of living under her thumb every day.
So how many crew... how many crew are there?
Well, 9, including you.
Das sind nicht die ersten, Tobi. Also die wissen teilweise da schon davon. She signaled for me to follow her out of the medical bay. I was sure to slip the watch into my pocket before proceeding. Aber ohne Nicholas, ohne mich. At the dining hall, I was greeted by a sea of faces I didn't recognize. What struck me was how happy they all seemed. Okay, warten wir ab. Vielleicht nehme ich das zurück.
It is nice to meet you. I am Kimiko Yukimori, captain of the Everett, and this is my crew.
Warum hat die Musik so gewechselt?
I would like everyone to introduce themselves to...
The crew took turns. Elisabeth. Der Theophilo ist wieder dabei. Turns introducing themselves. In total, I met 6 new crew members. Zubi, Nathaniel, Daniel, Elisabeth. Daniel und Elisabeth sind die Deutschen, oder? Bonnie und Theophilo. Ich weiß, dass es Daniel gibt, aber... Und Elizabeth. Wir brauchen 2 Deutsche da. Die eine ist nicht vertont. Also ich bin die ganze Zeit nicht vertont, aber das war jetzt die erste, die nicht vertont ist. Deswegen war ich auch ein bisschen...
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, my name's Luna and I lived on a pod for most of my life. Ich lebe auch auf dem Pod. Jeden Morgen, nein, Spaß. I was then sent back to the Everett, at which time the AI system became corrupted and started killing off the crew members. Using my parents' research, I have changed dimensions in hopes to find a way to stop the murderous AI system. The room sat in stunned silence at my story. Perhaps they were expecting something a little lighter. My hobbies or my favorite color, perhaps. Oh, and I enjoy taking baths. Apparently that did little to lessen the tension in the room.
Oh, well,
I could see the captain attempting to analyze this new information.
I assume you arrived via the pocket watch?
I did. How did you know? I pulled the watch out of my pocket to show the crew. The lights were all still lit up green.
Your parents in this dimension explained their work to us and told us when to expect travelers before they passed.
Wait, so you knew... you know how it works?
Not so much.
Suddenly the watch's lights faded.
Sorry to interrupt, Captain, but we have safely navigated around the black hole.
Thank you, As I was saying, we only know the basics.
Why isn't it working anymore? What happened?
I am unsure, but what I can say is that both Origin and the Destination Dimension must have a pocket watch.
Kann sein, dass wir einfach Kimiko sterben lassen, dann Dai sowieso keinen Sinn mehr hat, weil sie ja nur Kimiko am Leben erhalten will. Und dann nehmen wir einfach alle mit rüber und haben Kimiko wieder zurück. Naja.
Your parents said that the likelihood that someone would travel here was almost certain if we kept this watch intact.
Wait, this watch?
Yes. What you are holding is our dimension's version of the watch.
It's not mine?
The watch cannot travel with you.
Ja, Dex, das hatten wir ja letztes Mal schon. Also, das hatten wir ja letztes Mal schon, dass es immer zu der Zeit war, wo wir am schwarzen Loch vorbei mussten. Oh. I was happy to learn more about the watches and how they work, but I was deeply ashamed that I hadn't even managed to figure out this basic information yet. So...
It would appear that, for now at least, you are an honorary crew member.
But I have to return and save my crew.
Why not take a seat and celebrate your arrival with us and carry on with your research after a good meal and some rest?
My mind was racing, running over every scenario, but it seemed she was right. I needed to bide my time for now. You're right.
Welcome to the crew. Know that regardless of your research
Wieso haben wir so
outcomes,
viele
you
Schwarzhaarige?
are always welcome here and will forever be a part of this crew.
Ich will die rechts unten. Die mit dem Weinglas, was sie so... Ich will die. Die will ich. Die da. Die hier will ich. Die da will ich. Ich will die. Ist es Elisabeth oder Bonnie? Warte, ich glaube, das ist Elisabeth und das ist Daniel. Nee, warte, das ist Nathaniel. Das ist Daniel. Warte, was? Okay, Kimiko, Teofilo, Zubi, Nathaniel, MC. Und dann haben wir Daniel, Elisabeth und Bonnie.
Cheers.
Cheers! Prost! The crew ate and drank and made merry. It was a huge contrast to the previous days and weeks that I had spent on the old Everett. Was essen. The crew welcomed me, and it wasn't long before they made me feel like this was home, which was nice given that I never did get home. Hey, ich hab nicht mal ein Ende bekommen. Okay, warte, stimmt, wir haben... So, wir pressen den Button nicht. Langhaar neben dem mit blauen Haaren ist Bonnie. Ja, aber die andere hat ja auch dunkle, lange Haare. Bist du sicher? Ich kann mich nicht dran erinnern. Just pressing the button, regardless of how happy I am, might be a mistake. I took a deep breath and considered the situation for a moment. My thought process wasn't being overly helpful, rather it was preoccupied. The watch, it's on. I think the watch. Super helpful, brain. I decided to wake up Yoshiki as I asked for his opinion. He would have to provide me more help than my current brain. Holding the watch in one hand, I used the other to start gently pushing on Yoshiki's shoulder. Warte mal. Das kann sein, aber woher weißt du, dass es Bonnie war? Yoshiki, wake up.
Can't. Sleeping.
He simply brushed off my gentle nudges. It appears I might have to get creative. Yoshiki, the engineering bay is on fire.
What?
Yoshiki pounced out of bed and his burrito wrapping and without hesitation ran out of my quarters in little more than his boxers. That didn't go as planned. I sat on the side of the bed, fixated on the watch. It wasn't long before my quarters door opened, revealing an embarrassed Yoshiki who was in the midst of a scolding. I could hear the captain who was in the hallway.
I do not want to see you again until you are dressed appropriately.
And
I am disappointed in you, Yoshiki.
I could see Yoshiki's eyes welling with tears as the quarters doors shut behind him. He quickly became dressed as he attempted to avoid eye contact with me. Yoshiki, I'm so...
Why would you tell me the engineering bay's on fire?
I was trying to get you to wake up.
So I could get in trouble. So I could get in trouble. Thanks a lot.
I could see he was pretty upset. I didn't mean for him to get in trouble. I wanted to show you this. I passed the now glowing pocket watch over to Yoshiki. His eyes dried up immediately, and all signs of distress drained from his face as a smile started encroaching across it.
Your watch! It's working!
Yeah, I woke up and it was on. I was going to press the button.
You can't!
What?
You can't press the button. I forbid it.
Yoshiki suddenly looked uncertain.
You are foreboded. Wait, is that a word?
Yes, no, maybe. I'm not sure. That's not the point. Yoshiki simply stared at me, pouting. Why don't you want me to press the button? The face has no power over me. Yoshiki, what's wrong?
We're best friends, don't you know?
It appears that my best friend telekinetic powers don't work when I'm sleepy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yoshiki sat next to me on the bed. His smile was a thin veil on his forehead.
I don't want to lose you.
Given the rate that the deletion game is progressing, that might happen sooner than later.
No, I know that we will all probably die at the hands of Dai.
Somehow he said that so flippantly, almost as if it was a given.
I don't want you to leave. To change dimensions and leave me behind.
Yoshiki.
You're the bestest friend I've ever had. And I know it's selfish, but I don't want to live without you.
Oh, das ist wie so ein Hund. Er nervt zwar, wenn er dich weckt und du nicht schlafen kannst, aber du findest ihn trotzdem so niedlich. Alright. I will leave the pocket watch alone until I can ensure that if I press the button, I can take you with me. Yoshiki leaped forwards, wrapping me in his arms.
Thank you, bestie. I will ensure that you don't ever regret this.
I hugged him back just as tight. I could never regret spending more time with you.
So, do we have to get up right now? Or can we go back to sleep?
Does this answer your question? I started rolling myself in my blanket. Yoshiki soon followed. It wasn't long before both the bed burritos were fast asleep.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. What do we have here?
Hello, Dai. I wriggled free from my blanket to see Dai standing at the end of my bed, smiling slyly. Dai.
Feeling refreshed this morning? Or were you up all night?
What? Why would I have been up all night? Dai nodded towards the Yoshiki burrito that was still sleeping, mouth open next to me. It's not what it looks like.
Look, sister, power to ya.
What?
Really? Yoshiki?
Ich versteh's auch nicht, Dai. Hey, what's wrong with Yoshiki? Yoshiki began stirring awake as I was attempting to defend his honor.
Well, I guess I did already kill the most handsome man on the ship.
Ja, hast du, blöde Kuh. Yoshiki's a great man, a handsome man.
Mom, shh. I'm trying to sleep.
Der ist ganz toll.
Oh, Oedipus complex, eh? You're right. He's a keeper.
Richtig, Lurker. Das kann auch niemand verstehen. Really, Yoshiki, of all the times to have sleep, call me mom.
Anywho, I'm here for a reason.
Oh,
I have come to inform you, and mummy lover over there, your roles for this round of the deletion game Vampire Children.
when does the game start?
In about 2 hours. So you'll have plenty of time to deduce.
Deduce?
You want to breed blindly with a vampire? Well, I guess your taste in partners is already questionable.
Ah, Dai, grow up.
Grow up? Look at the kettle calling the pot black. Why are you getting so upset?
Just tell me my role.
Can no do. Not with him here.
Entschuldigung, ich muss mein Mikado-Stäbchen essen. Fine, I'll go wait in Yoshiki's quarters while you tell him, and then please come tell me.
Why wouldn't he leave? This is your quarters.
Dominik, ich weiß es nicht. Es war auch nicht meine Entscheidung, dass ich mich zu ihm ins Bett gelegt habe. Oder dass ich ihn bei mir schlafen lassen habe. Es war nicht meine Entscheidung. He just called me Mom. He isn't going anywhere fast. Unless you yell...
Yoshiki! The engineering bay is on fire!
Fire. Yoshiki shot up once again, panicked and ran out of my quarters, this time still wrapped in his blanket.
Problem solved.
Oh man, I'm going to hear about this later. He is not going to be happy that this happened again.
Ahem. Now, your role.
Come on, human.
Bum bum.
What? Really?
Yeah, sorry. You have been selected as the game's vampire. Congratulations!
This doesn't feel like something I should be congratulated for.
Oh, such a naive stance.
What? Why?
Being the vampire. This is your game. Your time to shine.
How is that?
Being the vampire means you're in control. And if handled correctly, a sure victory.
Doesn't feel like that.
And it won't be with that attitude. Have some more faith in yourself. I know I do.
Really?
Yep. Still hoping you come out on top. Well, I best go deal with Yoshiki. Toodles!
I dissipated from my quarters, leaving me alone in my bed for the first time in days. The vampire, eh? I took a deep breath. I guess now is when I need to make my biggest decision in this game. Will I play alone or will I get myself a Clyde? Okay. Wir werden wieder erstmal der Wolf sein und hoffen, dass wir erst sterben. I don't need a partner to win this. I howled, joking, laughing at my own actions. Ow! Alright, if I'm going to win this, alone or not, I need to go in with a game plan. Dürfen wir Leute töten? Wir nicht. Nee. Before I could even start my plan, I appeared in front of
We
me.
need to speak.
Fuck, das klingt mehr nach... Wir kriegen Kleid. Alright, two heads are better than one, but whose head? Okay, nein, wir machen doch. Aber ich glaube, dass halt
We
die
need
Story
to
ist.
speak.
Wenn Ai kommt noch... Oh, Ai, good
I
morning.
do not have long. Come to the server room.
Das ist halt wieder das offene Ende, ne? I zapped out of my quarters, leaving me quite confused. I have never heard her sound quite so human. Also, das kennen wir. Bla bla bla.
This is one.
Ich hab kein Deactivation. I know, das ist Astra immer noch. Das ist alles, was ich hab. Astra. Enter. Astra passt nicht. Gut. Opel Astra. I quickly made my way from the server room into the hallways, which too was dark. Hello? I started making my way slowly down the hallway. Something was wrong. Captain? Yoshiki? I stuck my head into the dining hall. Ist es wieder das gleiche? Nee. Katashi? Shizuka? Suddenly the silence was pierced by a scream. What? I ran towards the scream. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears as my brain was pleading with my legs to stop, to run in the other direction. But yet, I kept running towards the scream. AstraZeneca. I wasn't even entirely sure where I was anymore in the ship. My legs had simply taken me here. The room was dimly lit. I stopped suddenly. Captain?
Please, help.
Captain, what happened?
I killed Yoshiki.
What? Why?
Killed me.
I don't understand. She continued to stumble towards me, clenching her wound.
I have a knife. Please, help me. Stop me.
So eine Sache, gut, wir verstehen sie, nachdem wir wissen, okay, es gibt eine zweite, die durch die Zeit reist und alle tötet. Ja, schön. Aber, also dass ich, was da gerade das gesagt bekommen hat keine Ahnung. You have a knife? I took a step back, unsure how to process what was happening.
Where am I?
Captain?
I lost sight of me.
I looked around, still unable to discern where we were. I don't know where we are.
Not us. Me.
She was still speaking in riddles. I didn't know what to do. What do? I started taking more steps backwards, unsure of how I could help the captain, especially if she has a knife. And she killed Yoshiki?
No, I'm behind you.
Before I had a chance to turn, I felt a sudden sharp pressure in my lower back. A warm sensation was flowing from the point.
She doesn't appreciate you. She doesn't deserve you.
Suddenly the pressure was twisted, and as it did, excruciating pain shot through my spine and into my legs. Ah! Suddenly the pressure was ripped from my spine, and with it, I toppled to the ground, unable to stand. I clenched my eyes closed as they began filling with tears. Captain?
I'm sorry.
Who attacked me?
I did. I also attacked me.
I felt the captain place her blood-covered hand on my own, gripping it tightly.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect us.
I gripped back. Mirror matches are always challenging.
Is that a joke? At a time like this?
Ha ha ha. When is a better time? I could feel my pain fading and it was quite refreshing. My body was suddenly beginning to feel much lighter.
Stay with me. Please, stay.
Bin tot. Passiert. Gut. Dann sind wir halt doch nicht der einsame Wolf. Wir holen uns Kleid. Alright, two heads are better than one, but whose head? Hachi! I checked the tablet and it showed Katashi was heading towards the kitchen. I made my way there. Before I entered the kitchen, I could hear Shizuka and Katashi speaking from the hallway.
If anyone approaches you saying that they are the vampire, play along with them.
So they don't become defensive?
Correct. And then tell me, and we can use that information to ensure they lose and we win.
Got it.
Well, I guess that option is out of the window. Looks like my hand has been forced. I am now the Lone Wolf 9!
Did you just hear someone?
I'll just check the hallway.
Okay, wir müssen Yoshiki nehmen. Ah, crap. I ran as fast as my legs would take me back to my quarters. Kommt jetzt das gleiche wieder? Ja, tut's. Okay, gut. Also, wir nehmen uns ein Kleid. Komm, wir nehmen einmal das, aber Vladimir knew my parents and it in the best interest to be on the winning team here for Melody's sake. I made my way to Vladimir's quarters, which opened up on my arrival.
Monkey!
Ha! Oh, good morning, Melody.
I'm a human.
Haha, that's nice, but you probably shouldn't tell people that.
Not even monkey? But we're friends, right?
I looked at Melody, who was now looking at me with much concern. Of course we are.
Yay! Daddy's a human too.
Nee, sie ist ein Dino. Vladimir suddenly appeared from the other side of the room.
Melody, I told you not to tell anyone.
The monkey's okay.
I saw Vladimir. Vladimir let out a heavy sigh, as if keeping her safe wasn't hard enough. She was unknowingly making it more difficult.
Hello.
Der Blick ist gruselig. I hear you're a human.
Yeah.
Vladimir looked at Melody with a mix of emotions. It's okay, Vladimir, I already knew.
That I was a human?
Yeah,
To be sure of that, you...
I nodded at him.
I see.
I saw Vladimir take a moment to think.
Allow me to make a proposal.
I'm listening.
We don't make our working together official.
Wait, what?
Bear with me, please.
I nodded and allowed him to continue.
If I don't breed with Melody in round 1, people will be incredibly suspicious.
Habe ich schon mal irgendwo gehört. You might be right.
So, let's play a long game.
What do you suggest?
Allow Melody and I to breed in the first round,
Breed.
ensuring we have a baby score, and so Melody won't be on the chopping board. And you, breed with someone, and that someone, we be the ultimate loser.
Wait, so the person I breed with will die?
Correct, because they will have no human babies to their names at the end of the game when you win, with my and Melody's help.
Who should I partner with?
That is up to you. I will simply help you to survive to the next round, and in turn, ensuring that Melody will too.
Wo sind wir? I nodded slowly as the gravity of the situation and my choice will have.
It is best that you leave, or else others may get suspicious. Melody and I will ensure to breed with vampires in round 3 to ensure you succeed in turning the entire crew.
I agreed and swiftly left his quarters, making my way back to my quarters. Aber, okay. Ich speichere das ab. Weil eigentlich müssen wir doch Yoshiki nehmen mit dem Strang. I arrived back in the quarters, trying to take my time to just process everything that happened and how I should advance from here. What should I do? Before I had a second moment to think, I appeared in front of me.
We need to speak.
Gut, ich weiß das Passwort nicht. Ah, okay, wir müssen die nehmen. Es war einfach nur eine... Okay. Okay, gut. Warum auch immer. Nee, falsch. Ich glaube, es ist einfach scheißegal. Yoshiki. There's only one choice, and that is Yoshiki. I made my way to the engineering bay where I expected to find Yoshiki flustered. Hey, Bessie, sorry that the engineering bay was blowing smoke. Walking in made my eyes sting. Wait, there's a fire?
Just a moment, bestie. Just getting this under control.
Hat da ihm ein richtiges Feuer gemacht, nur damit es nicht ein Scheiß ist? I stood gobsmacked.
Shh, don't tell Yoshiki, but I felt bad about lying to him. So I stopped lying.
Bin ich gut? By starting a fire?
Yep, I sent a search to one of the computer consoles.
You started a fire because you felt bad?
Yeah? What, you think I would start a fire for fun? I'm not a lunatic.
Hallo, Boss Bambus Mampfer. Ich mag den Namen immer noch. Guten Abend. I huffed and zapped out of the engineering bay.
All right,
Bier.
that
Immer
should do
Bier.
it.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Just appears one of the computer consoles caught fire after a power surge.
Was mich wundert, warum hat er nicht sein Hemd ausgezogen? Er hat sonst immer sein Hemd ausgezogen. I tried to act unaware of the situation that just unfolded. Außerdem ist er nicht in Boxershorts. Naja. Tobi fragt nicht bei dem Spiel. Am Anfang war der, also bei dem ersten, also beim Anfangsding, bevor wir in die 3 Stränge gehen, war er auch super laut. Yoshiki just shrugged.
Surges just happen sometimes.
Huh?
Did you get your roll?
Yeah, I did. Yoshiki gasped. What?
Yes!
Yes, what?
I will be your Clyde.
How do you know I'm the vampire?
Best friends, remember? We can read each other's minds. Just how you knew I was given the human role.
Ich weiß, dass du human bist, weil ich Vampir bin. Well, that was because
Best friends.
I just let out a frustrated sigh.
So, how are we approaching this?
I hadn't really gotten further in playing than asking you to join me.
That's okay, bestie, because I have a great plan.
Yeah?
We can just talk to each other via telekinesis during the game to ensure we strategize, but so no one else can overhear.
Das ist nicht die Frage, die wir uns stellen sollten. But
We shouldn't spend any more time together. We don't want people to be suspicious of us. I will talk to you via telekinesis once I get to my quarters.
das wird ja super laufen. Du hast die ganzen Nächte bei mir geschlafen. Oder ich bei dir. Ja, wir sollten keine Zeit miteinander verbringen, weil das total suspicious ist. Ist es nicht eher suspicious, wenn wir uns nicht sehen? Before I could rebut, Yoshiki had run out of the engineering bay. I let out a further, heavier sigh and made my way back to my quarters. I sat on the end of my bed and amusing Yoshiki's theory, waited to hear him via telekinesis. Nothing. Of course I can't hear anything. I placed my hand in my hands as I began trying to compliment oder contemplate, aber doch nicht contemplate. Was ist denn contemplate? Contemplate meinen die, oder? How to communicate with Yoshiki in other ways ways that work. Suddenly I appeared in my quarters.
We need to speak.
Ist einfach scheißegal. Gut. Aber das ist gut. damit haben wir den einen Strang durch und können jetzt den anderen Strang nehmen. Und es gibt Nikolas wieder. Wir haben Nikolas zurück. Katashis image was seared into my brain, making sleep an impossibility. I could still smell the aftermath of the game. The pungent stench of charred human flesh was not something I ever wanted to revisit, even in my mind. Ja, die Stränge sind schnell. Also, deswegen, was meine Hoffnung ist, dass ich einen Stream das machen kann. Weil, nee, warte mal. Was war das? Dass ich jeden Stream so einen Strang schaffe. Und wenn nicht, dann halt die Chapter-2-Dinger, weil die genau da sind die. Die Chapter-2-Dinger dauern so lang, verhältnismäßig. Und die Stränge sind halt super kurz, solange wir nicht weiterkommen. Ich auch, Lurker. Ich auch. Aber jetzt haben wir Shizuka, die auch nicht besser war. Oh nein, wir wollen einen Movie watchen. Oh, probably wouldn't even take yet pain, but at least watching a movie would stop me from seeing Katashi everywhere I looked and every time I closed my eyes. Auf geht's zu Shizuka. I arrived to find that the TV was already occupied. Shizuka sat staring intently at the screen, her face a wet mask of tears. She continued to watch as if I wasn't there. Hey, Shizuka? Shizuka didn't turn to face me. I was wondering... Ich hab Hunger. I was a bit peckish and I thought you might enjoy stealing some food with me. Shizuka turned on me, snarling.
What's the point?
Ich wusste, dass sie das nicht gut findet, deswegen habe ich's genommen. Hä? What?
Katashi is dead!
Und weil er tot ist, haben wir keinen Hunger mehr, oder was? I know, but...
So who are we stealing food from?
She was right. Nein! Katashi hat das Essen nicht gehört. Okay, wir machen... Was guckst du denn? Is this a famous movie? What type of...
Please stop talking!
I saw you were upset on the...
And are you not upset?
What? Of course I am. I can't sleep because I'm so upset.
Your team chose to kill Katashi. Why would you be as upset as I am?
Shizuka, that's not fair and you know it. Shizuka's voice started to waver.
Neither is Katashi not being here anymore.
Was ist, wenn wir sie einfach fragen, ob es ihr gut geht? Komm, das ist doch legit die schlimmste Antwort. Ah, und, bist du okay? Shizuka? I put myself in between Shizuka and the TV, at which point she instantly changed, becoming outraged.
What do you want?
I wanted to make sure you're okay.
Is that the only reason you came here?
Well, technically not.
Technically?
Shizuka was becoming more and more furious with every word exchanged. I couldn't sleep, so I came to watch a movie. Shizuka's rage vanished in the blink of an eye, draining away to be replaced with a heart-rending emptiness. Her voice became calmer, sadder. Hä? Warum ist sie jetzt ruhiger? Bist du okay? Okay, also, Shizuka und Katashi waren ja so ein Ding. Also, ob es jetzt eine Beziehung ist oder einfach nur eine freundschaftliche Beziehung, ne? Also, ist ja egal. Die waren auf jeden Fall... Also, es gab niemanden, der ihr näher stand als Katashi. Und er wurde umgebracht, ja. Geht's dir gut? Bist du okay? Weil sie sieht es mir schlecht. Hä, aber davor habe ich auch gesagt, mir ging's scheiße. Und dann hat sie gesagt, ja, denkst du, dir geht's schlechter als mir, oder was? Das macht keinen Sinn.
You came to watch a movie too?
Das habe ich vorhin auch gesagt. Yeah, I'm just not handling the result of last night's game well. Shizuka's eyes spilled over with fresh tears as she motioned to the seat next to her.
Watch with me.
I took the seat next to Shizuka. Es macht keinen Sinn.
It's called Sisyphean.
Warum ist sie jetzt rot? Oh, what's it about?
It's about a man in love and his struggle to reach his happily ever after. It's a very romantic movie.
Und lass mich raten, Katashis Lieblingsfilm. Do you like romantic movies? Shizuka smiled as she wiped the tears from her eyes. Nein, mag sie nicht, aber Katashi mochte halt romantic movies.
Not really, but Katashi couldn't get enough of them. This movie was his favorite, though.
Psychologie-Game durchgespielt. Why is that?
I'm not really sure, but I think it might be because of me. This movie was his favorite. I'm not
Warum?
really sure.
How's that?
This movie was originally a video game that got a movie adaptation.
Was lief bei euch beiden? So it was a game first?
Yeah, Katashi might have thought that would appeal to me more, so he would always get me to watch it with him.
Der hat dir auch angemacht? And did you?
I sat with him once while he watched it, but I was playing video games at the same time.
Shizuka continued holding back tears.
I should have just watched it with him, even once. I should have been there for him. And now, I'll never get the chance again.
Shizuka's dam burst. I paused the movie and scooched closer to her for a hug. Shizuka began calming down in my arms. I'm sure he was grateful even having you sit next to him. I know that I am. Shizuka pulled away from me just enough that she could lock eyes with me.
Really?
I nodded sincerely.
Thank you. I really needed to hear that.
Anytime. Shizuka snuggled back in close and started the movie from the beginning. Warte, was? Sie kuschelt? Over 2 hours later, the movie's credits rolled. I had enjoyed the plot. It made me think about our limited time on Earth and having no regrets about how we used it.
Thank you for watching with me.
It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. I think I can see why it was his favorite.
Yeah, me too.
I especially like the part where he was eaten by a giant cat.
How long have you been there, Dai?
Missy, hier kuschelt keiner, es ist immer noch Corona.
Long enough to know that movie was actually pretty good.
You like romantic movies?
Wait, that was a romantic movie?
Yeah?
Huh, then I guess I do. I always knew I was a romantic at heart.
Who would have thought?
So why are you here?
It's time for the new deletion game explanation.
So we should go to the dining hall.
Bingo!
Alright, let us just tidy up here.
Oh, honey, I do love how submissive you are.
Dai cackled as she zapped out of the room. Shizuka and I put everything back where it belonged, still bathing in the warm afterglow of a good movie. Das stimmt, Tobi. Dann wird sie einmal im Chat durchgetestet, dann könnt ihr alle miteinander kuscheln. At the dining hall, the entire crew was already assembled.
About time, you two!
Huh?
We have been waiting for almost an hour now.
What, really?
But we only just got told to come here.
Guilty as charged.
What is the meaning of this, Dai?
Ja, sie wollte den Film zu Ende gucken.
Well, I went to collect these two, but they were watching a movie. I was going to interrupt it, but then I got hooked and finished watching the movie with them.
Seriously? We have all been wasting our time here for over an hour while you watched a movie?
Also ich finde, es gibt keine bessere Ausrede. Hä? Was? Hä? Was? Wie? Hä? The captain was not pleased with the situation, and it showed.
Capitan, need I remind you who's in charge here?
Dai pointed at herself haughtily. The captain's eye twitched.
Never mind that! How dare you waste my crew's precious time!
But
In the future, you will refrain from this nonsense.
Der Nintendo kommt später. Hallo, Sascha.
again, I'm in charge.
The captain's face took on such a menacing appearance that all the lights in the room seemed to go dark.
Your fun only lasts while there are crew members to play with. Push your luck any further with me, Dai, and I will take away that which gives you pleasure.
Es macht mir Angst. Was the captain threatening? To kill us? Just to spite Dai? Ich weiß es nicht, Tobi, aber es macht Sinn, weil es ist immer ein normaler Strang und ein komischer Strang.
Captain.
Nicholas! Nicholas placed his hand on the captain's shoulder. He reeled at his touch. She reeled at his touch, and her head snapped around as if released from a trance.
I'm sorry, Captain.
No, Dai. Dai apologizing? What kind of fresh hell was this?
In the future, I will not waste your time, Captain. On that note, let's get down to the explanation of the new game. Allow me to welcome you all to the new round of the
Vampire
deletion
Children,
game.
ganz neues
Vampire
Spiel.
Children. Vampire. What? No. How? If but be. Excellent. We understand that you have a choice in deletion game carrier.
Boring children. Never children. Was will die denn? Ach, jetzt... Oh, I could hear the captain calling my name. Why couldn't I see her, though? Captain, is that you?
Yes, wake up.
I can't see you. I heard the captain sigh deeply.
Open your eyes.
Ich bin zu doof? I opened my eyes to find a scowling captain looming over me.
I think you have been spending too much time with Yoshiki.
What's wrong? For that matter, what time is it?
It's 4:30 in the morning. I have come to request your counsel.
It must be pretty important to wake me up. Okay. I charged $200 for the first hour and then... Ja, finde ich gut. The captain's stern face twitched and before I knew it, she broke into a laugh. Ey, warum? Jedes Mal, wenn ich so dumme Antworten gebe, ist sie so...
I haven't heard anyone trying to barter using actual money for the longest time.
Es gibt den Dollar noch in 2094? What do you mean?
We all live and die on the ship. Currency and trading systems aren't exactly required.
So when was the last time you heard anyone talking about money?
That would be my father. He used to always pick up a phone and say, buy, sell, as if he were a stockbroker.
Hä? Sprich mal lauter!
He would also make bets with me
Danke.
for money that simply doesn't exist.
The captain laughed sadly to herself.
Sorry, I'm getting off track. The reason I am here...
Du musst nicht ganz so laut werden.
Please, make yourself presentable and meet me on the bridge in 5 minutes.
The captain turned and left. I hurried to make myself somewhat presentable. Okay, jetzt geht's wieder um schwarze Loch.
Just... we... let people... time. Oh, but...
Gleich springen wir wieder, oder springen mich? Warum wecken mich alle in dem Strang? I stared to see Shizuka perched on the side of my bed, continuing to poke me in the face. Really? Can't a girl sleep around here without someone ruining it every night?
That's why I'm here.
This had better be good.
I know that the captain woke you up this morning in my place, and I wanted to make it up to you.
Indem du mich auch wächst.
Besides, it's practically dinner time.
Dominik, sie nervt uns. Come again? I shot out of bed, snatching up my tablet as I pulled on clothes. She was right, it was almost 5 p.m. I've slept through the entire day.
You must have really needed it.
I don't have time to sleep through the days. I might have just wasted my last day alive.
I would have woken you up sooner, but
But what? Shizuka looked very bashful.
I only just woke up too.
Okay. I sighed. I guess we're both equally hopeless.
Yeah, but at least we're hopeless together. That's 1,000 times better than being lonely.
Achso, ja, gut. Guter Punkt, Dominik, gut. Gute Einstellung. I guess you're right.
Well, now that we're both awake, how about we do something with what's left of the day?
Like what?
Well, I was thinking that maybe we could play some games.
Haha, why am I not surprised?
So, you in?
Ich bin hier Katashi-Ersatz.
Yes! I'll go get everything set up for us.
Let me run through the shower and grab some research material to read while we play. I'll be there in half an hour. Shizuka could barely contain herself, yelling out her reply to me as she was already halfway down the hallway. Aber ich glaube, sie steht nicht auf Frauen.
See you soon!
I shot through the shower and grabbed the box of research from the lab on the way to the rec room.
It's probably a good thing you brought some work to do.
Why is that?
Well, tonight we'll be playing The Letter. And it's only one player, so we'll have to take turns.
I guess everything has worked out perfectly then. I smiled and took the seat next to Shizuka as the game's opening screen came to life. I sifted through papers, reading more of my parents' work as Shizuka sat glued to the TV. I pulled the pocket watch out and stared at it once more. It still looked exactly as it did last time I saw it. I sighed with disappointment. More than an hour passed and I still didn't get a turn. Shizuka was quite the hawk, it seemed. When is it my turn?
Like, when it's your turn, it's your turn.
That doesn't even make sense, so how will I know?
Almost done. Hang on.
A few minutes later, Shizuka finally ripped herself away from the game and reluctantly handed me the controller.
There. You happy?
I am, thank you. I realized very quickly that because I had been studying my notes, I was not sure what was happening in the game. So, Shizuka, if you could do anything, what would you do? Other than video games, what else do you enjoy? Do you think we will make it to the end?
I would go to the mansion and talk to Luke.
What? Not in the game, I mean in real life.
Oh, that's easy.
Really, go on then.
I'd be a necromancer.
Ich mag sie. I meant a career, but sure, let's go with that. Why exactly?
Not only would that mean I have magic abilities, but it means I could bring Katashi back to life.
Wouldn't he be a zombie?
Well, I only know about necromancy from
Zombie.
video games, but I think if we brought him back, he could still cook.
Ich glaube, deren Beziehung war nicht so tief. Ah, you just want more cake, don't you?
Guilty as charged.
Shizuka and I both laughed at the image of a zombie Katashi serving us cakes. I knew that she wanted more than just his cooking, but any small respite was welcome. Shizuka and I played well into the early hours of the morning. Shizuka had fallen asleep in her chair by 3 a.m., but I powered through only to be rewarded with one of the game's worst possible endings. I hope this isn't an omen. I looked at the time, 4:17 a.m. It was well past time to get Shizuka and myself off to our respective beds. As I moved to pack up, a light peeked out from the box containing my research material. I rubbed my eyes to ensure that I wasn't hallucinating. If I didn't know better, I would say that the watch was... It's on! I'm not imagining things! It's definitely on! Shizuka didn't stir. Ja, hier, wir pushen den Button. Warte mal, wir müssen erstmal speichern. Auf geht's! Scotty, beam me up! Ich habe keine Ahnung, Tobi. Was Süßes. Oh, guck mal da oben drüber. Das ist viel süßer. Das ist so... I woke up, finding myself on the floor of the rec room, dazed, confused and feeling extremely nauseous. Jetzt müssen wir aber sterben, oder? Guckt kurz weg! Guckt kurz weg! Guckt kurz weg! I sat up, greeted with the fact that neither Shizuka... Ihr dürft ja gucken. Neither Shizuka nor the precious box of research were anywhere to be seen. I suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
I am registering sounds of distress in your vocal tone. Are you all right?
I'm fine, just feeling a little bit queasy. I got to my feet, requiring a lot more effort than I was prepared for.
Very well. I have other matters to attend to.
I gathered what wits I could muster and navigated my way back to my room. I lay on my bed for a moment, taking the time to let my body settle. I noticed the time flashing at me from the bedside. Just after 8 a.m. Not long before the next game then. I was in the middle of trying to recall exactly what the deletion game's rules were when my door buzzed. Come in. Through the doorway came a young woman with long straight black hair and unmatching eyes. She wore the same uniform as me.
I have some good news
Elisabeth!
and some bad news.
Elisabeth, mein Stern, mein Augenstern. Du hast unterschiedliche Augen. Ich liebe unterschiedliche Augen. Wirklich? Es gibt ja immer diese Zeichner, die sich irgendwelche OCs machen, ne? Wenn ich das machen würde, würde ich ihr unterschiedliche Augen geben. Das ist meine Elisabeth. How do you know my name? The woman stopped dead in her tracks.
Are you okay?
She was clearly in a rush to bring me the news, so she didn't stay faced for long.
The good news is, I've uncovered another clue to the deactivation code for Dai. I was able to access partial records from the date of the incident and recover the letters AD.
Ad Astra. Das ist bestimmt irgendwas Lateinisches, richtig? Wo ist denn Astra? Wo habe ich denn Astra aufgeschrieben? Nee. Mach mal weg da. Astra, hier ist es. Ad. Von Elisabeth, meinem Augenstern. Ach, Elisabeth, mein Liebling. Ad Astra heißt du den Stern? Okay, wir müssen es ausprobieren, ja? Wir müssen es ausprobieren. Ihr wisst, wir müssen es jetzt ausprobieren. Kack auf alles. Da ist die Frage Astra zusammengeschrieben. Oder Ad Astra. Okay, es reicht noch nicht. Okay.
The good news is, I've uncovered another clue to the deactivation code for Dai. I was able to access partial records from the date of the incident and recover the letters AD.
You have a piece of the code.
That is what I just said.
Suddenly I appeared in the room addressing the young woman.
Elizabeth, you have been requested in the lab.
So niedlich, ne? Ich will die haben. Warum sehen wir nicht so aus?
By whom?
Bei mir! She looked at me quizzically, her brain clearly processing this news at light speed before replying.
Thank you, I. Please tell her I will be there presently.
Very well.
I bowed and disappeared.
I know what's going on here.
You do?
You have traveled here using the pocket watch. Am I correct in this assumption?
The watch worked? Hä? Ja, nee, wir haben jetzt plötzlich eine neue, die komplett anders aussieht als alle anderen auf dem Schiff. Klar. Wir haben die aus dem schwarzen Loch gefischt.
It would appear so. I have been working alongside you. Well, you in the lab for some time. And so I'm well versed in your research.
This lab klang gerade wie lol. But this is fantastic news. Not only this, but you have a piece of the deactivation code.
Well, it isn't so much the code as a small piece of the larger puzzle.
Either way, this is huge progress. Also ich schätze mal, es wird halt irgendein lateinischer Satz sein, der aus 4 Wörtern besteht. Irgendwas zu den Sternen, also zu den Sternen und noch viel weiter oder so. Wisst ihr, sowas.
Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm a computer programmer on the Everett. It seems safe to assume that I don't exist in your dimension, considering your lack of recognition when we met.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I must have seemed pretty rude.
I understand the confusion, so please, don't worry about it.
Elisabeth was silent for a moment, deep in thought.
If you wouldn't mind, could you please remain here in your quarters while I go speak to the captain about the situation? I think it would be best to not have you two together on the bridge just yet.
Of course, I'll gladly wait here. Elisabeth, okay, aber der ist so eine... and left the room. I looked around, surprised at how different the room actually looked from my own. This dimensions was a real pig. Ey, ganz ehrlich, wisst ihr, was ich cool gefunden hätte? Warum als Boy? Warum haben wir nicht die Crew? Warum haben wir nicht so ein also als Girl eine andere Crew und als Boy eine andere Crew? 10 minutes later, Elisabeth returned.
Thank you for waiting. The captain is on her way to see you now.
Did she take it well?
Yes, very well, in fact.
That's great. As soon as the words were out of my mouth, the captain arrived.
Thank you for joining us.
It's so good to see you, Captain.
We should work together in solving both the dye and resource crisis.
I completely agree.
But first, let us all go to the dining room to discuss our plans further in a more suitable environment.
I nodded my consent and followed them both down the corridor. Many of the crew were assembled in the dining hall already, including some familiar faces. Beatrix und Katashi, wo ist Nicolas?
How can I help you, sailor?
Hearing Beatrix's voice again was surreal. I felt myself getting choked up at the mere sound. I imagined that no one had ever been this happy to see Beatrix. Die beiden Toten sind da. Nothing, just nice to see you. Beatrix gave me a rather confused smile before turning back to a conversation with Nicolas, who was seated directly beside her.
Please, take a seat.
Können wir hier bleiben? I did so, and the captain did the same.
I have the pocket watch here, and so can confirm your dimension.
I patted my pockets, realizing in horror that the pocket watch was nowhere inside. I can't find my...
Yours?
My pocket watch.
Pocket watches do not carry over dimensions with you.
They don't?
No, you explained that to me, as well as told me that this number here is your dimension, and this one here is ours.
The captain pointed at the pocket watch as she described each number.
So you have come from dimension...
Hä, aber das letzte Mal war irgendwas mit 2442. So, this must be 22?
Correct.
Was? Meine... dem... Oh Gott, das kann doch keinen Sinn machen. Also der erste Strang ist... Warte. Erster Strang... R1... Dimension... 72. Ja, Tobi. Also nicht ganz, aber irgendwie ja. Suddenly the proceedings were interrupted by Dai zapping into the room.
What in the world is happening here? Are you all so eager to die? I usually have to drag you all kicking and screaming for the deletion game.
The deletion game is happening right now.
What's wrong with them? Regardless, with everyone, let's start the game.
Oh, die wollen mich opfern, damit meine Luna überlebt. Deren Luna. I seem confused by my question.
What game?
Is it Vampire Children?
Yup, and has been for almost a week.
Okay, of course. But we're missing Luna.
Seriously, what is wrong with you?
She should be playing, not me. Dai looked incredulous. Captain, who simply shrugged her shoulders. Captain, you know I'm not from here. Tell Dai where the other me is.
Sorry, Dai. I am unsure what she is talking about. I think the pressure has just gotten to her.
No, there's no pressure. She's lying. I pointed at the captain, my index finger shaking uncontrollably with rage.
Ooh, accusing the captain of lying? This is getting heated, and I love it.
She came to me and told me she was chosen as a vampire. When I declined to be her Clyde, she lost her mind with anger and has been acting like this ever since.
This never happened and you know it!
I know you enjoy games, Dai, but we have all decided not to breed with her already. So why not just jump to the execution?
Wait, what? Really? You're happy with me just killing her?
It would simply be a waste of our time otherwise.
I think we finally agreed on something, Capitan. Feels nice, like we're bonding.
I'm not Luna, I'm Luna! Even to my own ears, I sounded insane.
Wow. Get a grip. Or not. To the shuttle bay!
Dai cackled as Beatrix and Nicholas laid their hands on me and dragged me, kicking and screaming the whole way to the shuttle bay. I'm not from here, the other me must be hiding!
You know, I had bets on who would snap under the pressure, but wow, was I wrong there.
Hello, Ray. You're killing the wrong Luna! Nicholas and Beatrix threw me into the decompression chamber. The small airlock between us and infinite open space.
Have fun in space! Continue screaming out there. See if anyone can hear you.
Ist fast das gleiche, was da steht. I see you all in hell! Seconds later, the airlock doors opened and instantly the air in my lungs was sucked straight out of me, my body careening out into space right after. I was barely conscious for more than a moment before blackness swallowed both me and my silent screams. Das ging schnell. Oh nein, habe ich Oh nein, ich habe... Upsili. Ich habe das wohl ein bisschen überspeichert. Ne? Gut, da müssen wir da jetzt irgendwie anders ran. Hä? Was ist das? Ist das nur der Hintergrund oder ist das irgendwie ausgedingst? Code Add. Ach ja, steht ja da. Code Astra. Haben wir irgendwo noch einen Code? Nee, ne? Okay. Are you okay? Bla 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 bla.
Excellent.
Bla 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 bla. Bla 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 bla.
I would go.
Bla bla bla. Okay. Wir pushen gar nichts. Nee, ab einem gewissen Zeitpunkt geht das nicht, wenn du eine Entscheidung getroffen hast, Dex. I wasn't thinking straight. This was no time to be randomly pushing buttons. I returned the watch to my pocket. Shizuka snored loudly, snapping me out of my contemplation. Drool ran down her chin in slow rivulets. Shizuka, wake up! She stirred and moaned, but it would take more than just that to get her up. Hold her nose until she wakes up, auf jeden. I reached out my hand, clamping her nose shut. She struggled and started whining in irritation. I'll let you go if you get up. She battered my hand off her face with her flailing limbs, but the damage was done. She was now as wide awake and alert as it was possible to be.
You suck, you know that? I was so comfy.
Sleeping in a chair can't be good for you.
Nag, 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 nag.
Now, that wasn't very nice, Shizuka. Shizuka attempted and failed to stifle a huge yawn before leaving the rec room.
Night.
Aber ich wollte mit dir... Okay, gut.
You
Das passt schon so. Alright, problem number 1 solved. Now to get better rested so that the watch problem wouldn't seem so daunting. I picked up my parents' research and plodded dreamily back to my quarters. Ich mag sie auch. Sie ist einfach meine Spiegelung. I left the watch on the bedside table and slid into bed, which received me like a long-lost friend. Despite the flurry of thoughts in my head, I was asleep within minutes. Deswegen nervt sie mich auch immer so, weil sie zu ähnlich ist. Dai, kannst du bitte reden? Hey, Luna! Hä? What?
I think your alarm clock thingy is broken.
What alarm? Oh nein. I slowly cracked open my eyes to see Dai staring quizzically at something on the bedside table. I sat up at light speed, making Dai look at me oddly. I stopped myself, knowing that I shouldn't draw too much attention to myself by acting strange. I casually picked up the watch from where it lay. Oh yeah, that alarm clock. Weird, it's not making any noise. I wonder what's wrong with it.
You should get Yoshiki to fix it.
Hallo Verto. Verto, wir sind fast durch das feuchtfröhliche Abenteuer. Ich war vorbereitet. That's a very helpful suggestion. Thanks, Dai. I'll go and do that right away. I cocked my head, suspicious of how quickly she had been taken in by my not at all convincing acting abilities.
I know how clumsy he is. I was hoping that he might electrocute himself while taking it apart.
And here I was thinking you were being helpful.
He might still fix it by giving his life heroically, and then we both win.
I would rather it remain broken and him alive.
That's because you're selfish. You're only ever thinking of yourself.
I'm too tired for this dive.
Well, that's your fault for being up so late, isn't it?
How do you know I was up late?
I'll give you a hint. It starts with an S and ends in a Hizuka.
Wait, Yoshiki told you?
You really do crack me up.
Ich bin schon echt lustig. So might as well tell me why you're here.
I'm here to assign your role for today's deletion game.
I totally forgot that the game was about to begin. I had been so preoccupied with the watch. As I had been prepared myself for the worst.
Now, it's not that bad. In fact, I would say.
What? What would you say?
I can't lie to you. I'm sorry.
Oh god, I'm the vampire, aren't I?
What? No.
Then why are you sorry?
I'm sorry because you're a human.
But that's good, right?
Clearly you don't quite grasp the coolness factor of vampires. Frankly, I'm disappointed.
Yes, that's it. I hadn't accounted for the coolness factor.
Interesting vampire. Interesting vampire coming your way. Interesting vampire coming your way. Although Christian religious symbols such as crosses and holy water are often associated with combating vampires, Christianity didn't exist until thousands of years after the first vampire tales were told.
Don't you have any useful information for me?
Okay. In some cultures, those born with red hair were considered the most likely to be vampires.
How does that help?
Maybe it's a hint about who on this ship is a vampire.
Did Yoshiki als rothaarig? Dai winked and tapped her nose knowingly.
Well, this has been nice, but I need to continue my rounds. Last stop, El Capitan.
Weil eigentlich wäre Katashi rothaarig, also so dunkelrot. Tobi. Dai strode right through my jaw, flickering as she crossed the boundary. Relief washed over me as she departed, and then immediately as next deletion game drew closer. At least I'm not a vampire. Perfect. At least I think it is. The watch was returned to its place back on my bedside table. I had to keep my mind on the task at hand. The PA system crackled to life overhead.
Thank you all for your cooperation. You are now free to pass the time as you please. The game will commence in 2 hours. Good luck!
Alright, time to talk to the crew and work out a game strategy. Before the thought had even fully formed.
We
Okay.
need to speak.
Nein, ich weiß den Code immer noch nicht. Hör auf.
You always...
You always had it. Hab ich nicht. Hier, Oh. Ad Astra. Ich glaube, es ist einfach nur der eine Code. What? Da da da. Right outside my door, Shizuka was awaiting my return, bouncing on her heels in an agitated fashion.
About time.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to tell you something. Something for your trusted ears alone.
Go on.
Promise not to tell? Cross your heart and hope to die?
Of course, Shizuka.
Lower your voice. I'll tell you inside.
Shizuka put her hands on my shoulders and marched me inside. The door slid shut behind us, Shizuka not taking her eyes off of it until it was fully sealed. Obwohl, sie hat nur gesagt, die mit roten Haaren geboren sind, richtig?
I'm the vampire, and I was hoping that you would...
Shizuka's gaze must have spotted the watch illuminating in my room from its spot on the table because a wild, excited look suddenly overcame her features.
What's that?
She darted around me, snatching the watch up and jumped onto my bed. I threw my hands up in the air as a sign of my utter resignation. There was going to be no coaxing her down once she was in this state. Das heißt, sie hat eigentlich rote Haare mit lila Augen. Sieht ja richtig komisch aus. Shizuka, please be careful. It's not a toy. Shizuka is now bouncing up and down at light speed, eyes fixated on the glowing face.
Why does it have a light on? What's this button for? What does it do? Can I have a turn with it? Where do I get one? Where do you plug it in to recharge? Why does it have a light on? What's this button for? What does it do? Can I have a turn with it? Where do I get one? Where do you plug it in to recharge? Why does it have a light on? What's this button for? What does it do? Can I have a turn with it? Where do I get one? Where do you plug it in to recharge?
Genau. Shizuka continued with her machine gun fire questions, clearly not about to stop anytime soon. If she accidentally pressed that button, we could be in real trouble. I had to defuse the situation and fast. Tackle her. I couldn't take any chances. She had to be stopped now. I leapt at Shizuka, aiming for her legs and trying to topple her so that the watch would be within reach, but she was too fast for me. She jumped between the bed and the couch, obviously under the impression that this was some kind of game. Shizuka grinned like a dopey puppy as she pressed the first button she could lay her hands on. The pocket watch let out an unfamiliar noise, and before I could do anything, Shizuka dissipated before my eyes, just like I and Dai do. The watch fell from where her hand just was and bounced gently on the bed's mattress a few times before coming to rest. The watch's face was now revealing numbers behind the panels. The left reading 72 and the right 22. Okay. Das heißt, was sie mir damals aufgeschrieben hat, als wir das letzte Mal das hatten, waren wir in Realität 24 und sind zu 42. Okay, also von der 24, ich weiß aber nicht mehr, wann das war. Von der 72 kommt man zu 22. Shizuka. I don't know why I looked around the room for her, knowing what I just saw, but a part of me was hoping it wasn't true. Think. I have no real choice. I can tell the captain that I accidentally lost Shizuka, or I can go after her. I gulped nervously as I held the watch in my hands, pressed my eyes shut, and pressed the button. Hallo, Fladinator. Habt ihr verstanden, ja? I gasped for air, but found none. Opening my eyes rewarded me with the sight of infinite sprawling nothingness as far as the eye could see. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the pocket watch floating just out of reach. With the last shred of breath in my lungs, I tried to propel myself towards it, but it was such a feeble effort that I may as well have devoured that last lungful a bit longer. A lifeless Shizuka hovered above, blue skin, snap frozen by the relentless cold of space. What had gone wrong? I tried to tell Shizuka that we would have lived if we played the game. Well, we'll never know now. Okay. Das ist jetzt passiert, ne? Aber was, wenn wir ihr sagen, wir sind ihr Kleid? Drückt sie dann aus Versehen den Knopf? Shizuka, could I please be your Clyde? Shizuka stopped bouncing immediately.
Really? You'd risk everything to play two-player with me?
Of course, there's no one on the ship I'd rather team up with. Shizuka's face radiated pure happiness.
We will definitely win. I know we will.
Hallo, David. Of course, so why don't you come down here?
Right after this.
Okay, sie drückt immer den Knopf. Noch gar nicht, David, tatsächlich. Noch gar nicht, gar nicht. Das heißt, wir sind offiziell mit dem Mädchen erstmal durch. Nochmal rechts, das war da, wo wir hier irgendwas geöffnet haben. Und das heißt, wahrscheinlich müssen wir halt da mit dem Jungen erstmal durchspielen. Dass wir dann den Pfad weitermachen können. Schätze ich mal.
Thank you for your selection. And
Yoshiki ist tot. Das ist die gute Nachricht. Hier. Diese Frust. Gut.
Me too. Leave me. I'm sorry, Yoshi.
So. Gut, Chapter 2. Da speichern wir und machen das nächste Mal weiter. Was wir nur in Erinnerung behalten müssen ist, ab da sind wir ein Junge. Ich weiß, es wird schwierig, aber wir sind ab da ein Junge. Wir sind dann männlich. Entschuldigung. Okay.